Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk more about Disneyland and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and the prophecy was true.
Okay, but I'll give you this, though. They're talking about Disneyland, but that's a Walt Disney World photo.
I'm
just pointing that out, Fox. That's Disney World, not Disneyland.
Yeah, okay.
There is a difference. I just noticed that. You pulled this up, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Wrong castle.
Wrong park. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Wrong castle. Okay, so we're going to talk about Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars, how it's actually, Disney's actually coming out now and saying Star Wars is on the decline, and how they bet it all on a franchise that's seen better days.
Mm-hmm. Well, seen better writers.
and they're paying for it now. So before we get into the video, thank you everybody who subscribed over the last couple months. You guys have been awesome. You've helped the channel grow tremendously. Thank you for that. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're almost at 50,000.
We are. We'll probably be over here soon.
Yeah, within the next day or two.
And then we have to figure out what we're going to do. We have to do something for 50.
I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
We haven't thought that far ahead. So, but thank you so much for that. So, okay, so we did a video a couple of weeks ago about the rumored layoffs coming.
Oh yeah, when everybody said that lady was full of crap.
They said a lady was full of crap. Now her son actually worked at Disneyland, as I understand it. She said that the word from on high was that layoffs were coming. People said, No,
you're wrong.
You're wrong.
That's not true. You're just a hater.
But now, apparently, this is the case. Disneyland's actually cutting staff. I guess they overstaffed.
Well, they probably did. They probably expected it to be, really busy.
Right. So they expected it to be busy. So
well, I think that's kind of dumb and short-sighted. I'll tell you why. Because now, isn't the blackout dates for locals ending this month?
Yeah.
So they're going to cut back on staff right when the blackout dates end, and that's probably when it's going to actually get people showing up.
They said that, actually some people said that it has been busier. It has been busier.
Well, yeah, the blackout dates are going to end, and then they're not going to have enough staff.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Well, now they've seemingly moved on from Disneyland to Disney World, because I'm getting all kinds of emails about, book for Disney World. Galaxy's Edge is going to open.
It's opening the end of the month, 29th.
Remember, everybody, we have one too. Come here. So then that might actually hurt Disneyland even more, because people that might have flown to California to go check it out are going to be like, screw it, I'm just going to
No, if I were them, I'd still go to California, because it's probably going to be less crowds. Because Disney World, I'm honestly expecting it to be a lot busier, Disney World.
Disney World's always crowded.
It's really crowded.
Always crowded. All right, so let's get into this. From Fox Business, Disneyland Star Wars flops. Now employees getting hours cut. So the force is not strong at Disneyland this summer, and employees are feeling the pinch. The new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge land made its debut to the public in May. It has become a bit of a disappointment to the theme park employees, whose hours and paychecks have suffered due to lack of attendance.
Well, don't make things so damn expensive.
Yeah, I know, right? $200 lightsabers, right?
The break.
Wait times this summer for the new Falcon ride were expected to be over 2 hours long.
Which is still low.
That is low.
That is a low wait time. I mean, Disney World, that's like nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, in reality, the lines have been averaging half of that or less. An employee,
Man, you should go out there.
An employee who spoke under the condition of anonymity tells Fox Business, as a result, the company has been forced to cut our hours. The need for us to work simply isn't there. So employees are now working under 40 hours a week. Our hours have been cut to as low as 30 to 35 hours, even though we have both worked at the parks for years.
And California is not inexpensive to live there. So, especially in that area. So, I'm sure that's causing them problems.
Yeah, there could be other issues though, because in California particularly, they had the labor dispute. Mm-hmm. They had to raise wages, mm-hmm. and Disney at this point might be looking at every opportunity to cut hours that they can, because now I think the minimum they have to pay Disneyland employees is like $15 an hour.
That's true though. Oh, they mentioned that next.
Yeah. So I think that might actually.
I didn't read this yet, so.
Okay, that might be part of it. So yeah, it makes life challenging when your paychecks get cut unexpectedly. The same source explained a worker can earn $15 an hour. The reduced work week means a paycheck before taxes in Southern California could fall from $600 to $450.
Wow.
And I mean, look, Disneyland doesn't pay well, at least for its regular cast members, but Disney is going to look to trim all the expense they can now, because the union
mm-hmm.
Deal, they have to pay $15 an hour. I think it was like $11 or $12 an hour before.
Well, the next thing is what I keep saying. I've been saying this and saying this. I feel the problem with Star Wars took too long to build, so they rushed the opening with only one cool feature.
Yeah.
The other big ride isn't even scheduled to open to the end of the year in Florida. It's not till next year in Disneyland.
And people were pissed because people said that they actually booked a trip for Disneyland for the middle or late December, thinking that both rides would be open. And, the one guy, I read a comment on a blog, and he's like, I booked my vacation. I took my vacation in December. I paid $6,000. I can't change it. And I'm going to be there, and only one ride's going to be open. I expected the ride to be open in December. So people were pissed.
I think what happened was they spent too much money on Fox.
Yeah.
And then other things weren't performing as they should. So Disney, instead of waiting until they had it ready, just hurried up and shit it out and opened it early to get it out there. And I guess it was obvious things weren't worked out the way it should have been. They didn't have the big ride. The Falcon ride is interesting and cool too. But the one that's gonna be the new one, it's gonna be all the cool things and the drops and all that. It has like a little drop, and it's gonna have real cool things like big walkers and stuff. Is Rise of the Resistance, and that's what everybody kind of wants to see. And that isn't opening till later, so you should have just waited. Yeah,
so when we were running the theme park blog, the rumor I had heard originally was that neither Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was going to be open until like January of next year, that they were behind on construction because of Rise of the Resistance, and because the Falcon ride had some problems, that they weren't going until January. The reason they opened it early is they wanted to get revenue on the books quickly, but again, it's like, they cut off their nose to spite their face. They open the park early.
And that people didn't have enough notice either.
No.
I mean, when they announced it for May, it was like what, April or March? People can't, like I've said repeatedly, especially if you're on blackout dates at Disneyland, it's a locals park. That was dumb. Disney World, they gave a little more notice. People had more time, but people can't just book thousands of dollars in trips in like a month. And everybody keeps thinking this. We keep running into it, Disney people. They keep thinking that people can just turn around next month and drop $7,000 to go to Disney World. Most people can't do that.
Land is, again, they can do it easier in Land than they can World. Disney
World. Then
they
blocked out the dates.
Yeah, they blocked out the dates.
So you bit your own, bit your own fingers off. I don't know what to call that.
Well, they did it trying to think they were going to be smart. They were going to be smart, and they were going to get this guaranteed Star Wars revenue on the books this year instead of next year.
And have it ready in time for the movie.
Right. And it blew up. And in fact, what it did instead was damage the Star Wars brand even more, because now all the media outlets are talking about what a failure Galaxy's Edge is, on top of Star Wars merchandise sales being down. So you've actually hurt the Star Wars brand more.
I want to go to record too, is to say, we were calling this BS on our Disney Parks blog that we do now, which is Pirates and Princesses. And we were calling it on here, and everybody's like, you're just being negative. You just hate Disney. No. See, people don't understand. There's a difference between negativity and honesty. They're not the same thing. And and all we're doing is calling it out like this is a bad idea. We're being honest about it. And everybody pooed all over us and said we were full of crap. Now all the mainstream's picking it up too now. So we were clearly not full of crap. And we were not being negative, we were just being honest. And there is a difference.
Yeah, a lot of Disney bloggers, like, they cannot take any negativity at all.
You want the hair flipping. Oh my god, it's so magical. This is the wrong place for you. Yeah, we don't do that, I'm a magical Disney mom. We don't do that.
No, we're not magical. We're
magical. We're truthful though.
We're magical. We're magical like Voldemort.
We're fun and free. We're magical. We're not like Voldemort. Gosh, we're just honest.
Some people stayed away because they expected it would not be a great guest experience. Bob Iger tried to explain to shareholders. The second attraction in Anaheim is going to open in January. Again, that's pissing people off. So we feel great about the product we've created. It's just going to take some time for things to work themselves out in terms of how the marketplace is reacting.
How about you should have set it up that people had time. This is why you don't, again, I'm going to say it again. I already said it once, but it's true. Disney doesn't seem to understand. The people at Disney, the people who run these agencies and stuff, do not understand that people cannot just drop thousands of dollars because you give them 2 months notice. You had to announce a date and give them like 6 months.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, Disney does this, and this is one thing we noticed, when we were working in the theme park blogging, is that they would drop specials and stuff. It was like, hurry, come to Disney World. And I'm like, if you're planning a family trip and you have to travel to Disney World, people have to schedule vacation time.
They need time to raise the money.
Get the kids out of school.
Not cheap.
No, even to get the kids out of school, it could take a couple of months. I mean,
Flights are cheaper if you buy them farther out. You can't wait till a month out, 2 months out. You're going to pay like 3 times as much.
Yeah, it's not like hurry down to Disney World this weekend. I mean, that's what they want. And again, these are... I think Disney is completely out of touch. I'm going to talk about this
Oh
next
yeah,
paragraph
I
here.
see. I didn't even read this. See?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even read
Disney
it.
is completely out of touch with how real world families operate. Like, they don't understand.
There was a recession and people needed, are still recovering.
Right. They don't understand that, like, people have a finite amount of money. They have a finite amount of time. Even the demographic that Disney World is courting, the 1%ers, they probably work more hours than a lot of other people, unless they're independently wealthy, and they have to schedule time.
Right.
And Disney does not. This does not compute with them. They don't understand why. They're not like Walmart, where they can put a flyer out and have people, pour
Right,
into
you have
the
to
store.
give them notice, and I mean, most people coming to the parks are people that are probably middle class people, and even like even people that are like lower middle class, whatever, they need time to get the money, and they still want to have a family vacation, but other places are looking more and more attractive because you guys keep raising the prices, which I'm going to mention here in a minute. They keep raising the prices. They keep jacking up, nickel and diming every little thing now. We keep joking they're going to start charging for bathroom breaks or something. I mean, they're already going to start charging for. They already do at Disneyland for fast passes and stuff, and then they're probably going to start at Disney World where you can get extra fast passes for so much money. And it's gonna even make it worse. And the fast pass system actually causes a lot of the line problems.
Right.
But go ahead.
And meanwhile, Universal is coming in, opening value resorts that are nice. They're doing some crazy good deals on tickets. They're bringing Nintendo. Nintendo's a Disney killer. I'm sorry, more kids today, and we're gonna talk about that. How they don't connect with Star Wars, but they damn sure connect with Mario and Zelda and Donkey Kong and okay, so part of the problem too has been all the hype surrounding the land. The source share. This is the anonymous source who doesn't want to get fired.
This is we've mentioned this before too.
Yep, tourists fear the anticipated crowds. I don't think that's it. And the LA locals seem to be waiting out the summer crowds.
They were blocked. A lot of the pass holders, annual pass holders.
This is important. Admission to the park is not cheap. It's $149 for one park, or $199 during peak summer weekends for a park hopper ticket. For many families, that adds up real quick. Yeah, and you block out the pass holders.
And their hotels at Disneyland are really expensive too.
In Disneyland, they don't have nearly as many rooms as they have in Disney World, and their hotels are crazy expensive.
They are in comparison.
And you can go walk right down the street, and there's like a ton of hotels.
Yeah, but they made sure what they did was for the first month of first month or 6 weeks or so of Galaxy's Edge, they only allowed, it was a month I think, they only allowed people who were staying in Disney hotels to access Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to stay at a hotel outside the area, you weren't allowed to get in.
Right. So 10, 15 years ago, a new Star Wars land would have been a massive draw, but Disney has devalued the Star Wars franchise. Now, there was a lot of excitement about The Force Awakens when it came out. It broke all kinds of records.
Crazy busy.
And we've seen a decline in the movies and the interest in the movies since, the first one, since Force Awakens.
Well, you know why? People wanted to see Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie all together again on the Falcon. I mean, passing the torch, I get, but that they could have done it in such a way that as it progressed, they could have done that. That's what people wanted to see. That is what they wanted, not what they got. They
couldn't even give us one scene with the original cast together.
Everybody wanted
5 minutes. 5 minutes on the Falcon together. They couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
And when they announced they made, and that's the reason people were so excited when they hyped up The Force Awakens, was they made a big deal about...
The trailer kind of led you to believe they would be together.
And they weren't. And
we're like, why are they not together? That's what everybody wanted.
I mean, Han and Luke never get to see each other again. I mean, it's so stupid.
It was
such a stupid
And then, because
move.
it's because it's not about them, it's about the new one. But no, it's the Skywalker saga. It's not about the new one. And then, I know you're going to bring it up later.
Well, that'll be another video. We're going to talk about the dumb rumors. Rumors.
This whole thing, okay, so The Force Awakens, I didn't care for. A lot of people did. I thought I just felt like I already saw it before. And I didn't like Rey because I thought she was Mary Sue. And I'm a woman, so stuff it. All you guys out there who keep blaming it on men. And then when we got The Last Jedi, I'm like, I still can't comprehend this. Why they thought this was a good idea to bring Rian Johnson in. And Rian Johnson wasn't working with J.J. Abrams to make a cohesive story, which should have been done with Kathleen Kennedy before any of the things were written to begin with. And I'm surprised they hired 2 white men to write it. How dare they? That's not progressive at all.
So, okay.
I would have written it.
There you go. So here's the bigger problem. Beyond the parks being expensive and Disney probably reaching reaching peak park because their park attendance was down. They got more blood out of the rocks that made it to the parks, but their park attendance is down because the prices are really high.
Yeah, the park attendance is down to begin with.
So Star Wars, the interest in Star Wars is on the decline. Now, Bob Iger did do his earnings report earlier in the week, and they flat out said not only is the park attendance down, but Star Wars merchandise is decreasing. And if you've been to any Walmart within the last 2 or 3 years, you will find Star Wars stuff on clearance languishing on the shelves because nobody wants it, even at a steep discount.
You mean that the fact that everybody's been mentioning this for months and all the naysayers are like, no, that's not true, you're haters. Now Bob Iger even admits it?
Yes.
You know, so maybe those vocal quote-unquote minority aren't as stupid as everybody keeps saying they are.
So here, today, Disney released their third quarter earnings report, which once again confirms that Star Wars sales are on the decline as part of their parks, experiences, and products division. Now, last year they combined a whole bunch of...
Yeah, they did.
To juggle things around a little bit and to bury Marvel Comics in there, yeah. The increase in our consumer products business was due to growth at our merchandise licensing and retail businesses. Growth at merchandise licensing was primarily due to higher revenue from Toy Story, partially offset by a decrease from Star Wars merchandise. Okay, last year Star Wars merchandise decreased too. Star Wars merchandise is decreasing every year. Public interest is declining.
The classic stuff seems to still hold its own until except for the prices on some of the stuff's kind of shit, but the classic stuff, that's what you're seeing more and more classic stuff coming out. Classic merchandise, because that's what people want.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's it. And the only toys that are coming out that I think anybody's really interested in at this point, nobody's really talking about the Rise of Skywalker toys. They care about the retro figures.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of
the retro figures are so cool. We wouldn't mind having some of those. I'm just, saying.
Hey, Hasbro.
Hey, Hasbro. Yeah, we'll gladly review them and we'll be fair.
So this is the big problem. The toys aren't selling because kids don't give a shit about Star Wars. Not like their parents do. And that the thing, then they're alienating the parents. Mm-hmm. They're alienating our generation by destroying characters like Luke Skywalker.
And then telling us that we're bad people for saying they ruined it.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, you reap what you sow, Disney. I think they were trying and failing miserably at trying to get people on board with Rey. Like, Rey was going to be that generation's Luke Skywalker, and she's such a boring-ass character that nobody cares.
That's not saying there are kids who like it. There are kids that like it, but the majority of kids don't like it. They're Star Wars. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the really bad fashion they put on these people?
Yeah, who wears this stuff?
Yeah, I know. Look at their hair. Look, we're so cool and trendy, and we're at Star Wars. No! Look at my kid so excited. He's going to take a dump. That's a dump.
Douche. No, I was going to say this guy looks like a douche
hair. Anyway...
Is that members only jacket? Is that like a red members only jacket?
I don't know, but they dressed him like annoying. Anyway, someone should go there and reenact that picture. That'd be hilarious. I would love to see that. But kids just don't care. Like you said to me, the kids today, their Star Wars is like the Marvel universe, the MCU.
Yep.
I would say kids today, their Star Wars for my daughter is My Hero Academia and some of the anime shows. That's and the video games, things, Minecraft and stuff and Fortnite and all that are these kids' Star Wars.
Yeah, you have to realize, when Star Wars came out, video games were just starting, and now gaming has totally eclipsed Star Wars. But look, Star Wars is a great franchise, but the fact is that your core demographic were still 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s kids, and you've alienated them.
You're saying about like video games and stuff. Yeah, they were just starting when we were kids, but there wasn't as many back then. So everybody probably remembers the old arcade cabinets for Star Wars with the really fun controller. Good on. They're bringing this back. Arcade One Up is actually bringing an arcade cabinet out with the old Atari. It's actually the Atari system they used in the arcade machines and the controller. It's going to have Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi all in it. It is flippin' amazing, and it's coming out this fall.
Yes, I think it's coming out this fall.
It's pre-order right now, I believe.
Yeah, but then the thing is, again, they're appealing to the retro.
Exactly.
What sells, and if you go to the parks, you go to the parks, you realize they're starting to push original trilogy, and they base this land on the sequel trilogy, which doesn't really have an audience.
Speaking of video games in the original trilogy, the Lego Star Wars games. Yeah. They almost always focused. The original ones focused on the original trilogy. They were hugely popular.
Well, Squid King's really excited. They're going to bring out the entire saga, I guess, after Episode 9 comes out. But yeah, I mean, mostly it was the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, even the prequel trilogy. Like, it was almost like the original trilogy is always like top shelf, and then the prequel, a lot of people were like, well, we don't like the prequels as much, but they were never like
Hated
D-list.
as much.
Not, yeah, you know, there was a lot of backlash against the prequels, but not like The Last Jedi. Not like, people still bought the merchandise. The prequels, a lot of people didn't really care for them, but when the Clone Wars came out, the toys sold.
Right.
People bought Clone Wars toys.
Oh yeah, because Clone Wars was good.
Yeah, the Clone Wars show was good. I mean, if there's one good thing, like, look, I like the prequels more than you did. I don't think they were as bad as people think they were, but, you know, the Clone Wars is pretty much universally loved, and it made the prequel era better, you know, and those toys sold. I remember those toys selling out all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they could sell big gunships and all that.
Yeah, they can't sell anything for the new ones. People don't want it.
Plus, the toys are ass. Like, they had, you know, you bring a Han Solo movie out, you have an opportunity for a kick-ass new Millennium Falcon toy, and what did they do? They make like a $30 budget cut no, it was $100. It was $100.
It was expensive. We found it.
It was $100, and I called it the nap time Falcon, because the only way Han Solo could actually fit in the Falcon was if you laid him down and put him in, because it was so small.
But for $100.
The nap time Falcon.
So Disney's biggest problem is their greed, I think. I mean, no offense, I love Disney's parks. I still love their merchandise. I still buy some of their merchandise, but their prices just keep creeping up and up and up and up. And even the toys for the stuff, I mean, that's not all them, it's on Hasbro too, but some of the prices are too high.
But it's, you know, what we're saying about the video games is when Nintendo comes to Universal, okay, it's game over. Because everybody's gonna go to Nintendo Land and Universal. Plus, Universal's cheaper.
Yeah, because kids relate to that more than Star Wars.
Yeah, they're gonna... Hell, if you build a Minecraft theme park...
Oh my god. I think... Wasn't somebody doing that?
I don't know. But if they... You know, and that's the thing about Universal, because Universal's sort of like everything that's not owned by Disney, even other companies, it tends to wind up at Universal. And they're gonna be pulling in all the other... Basically, you know, my enemy of my enemy is my friend. So anyone that's not owned by Disney is going to wind up probably at Universal, and that's all the DreamWorks stuff and all that. You know, well, they're owned by Universal now, I guess, too, but that stuff resonates with kids today more than Star Wars. Yeah, except for, we don't need a She-Ra land. That's fine. But, you know, it's just kids aren't into Star Wars. So if kids aren't into Star Wars and you're banking on their parents buying this stuff, alienating their parents by pissing all over the classic characters, is not a good idea.
Yeah, and they said Bloomberg had an article, Star Wars is struggling to win over the next generation of kids.
Yep.
They're not doing it because they ruined Star Wars, because who they were pandering to wasn't even the kids. They're pandering to people that are like, I'd say 20s is what they were pandering to. And not even all these people. I'd say a small subset of those people. They pandered to a small, tiny fraction. When they talk about vocal minority, that's who I think of, because they are a tiny group that are controlling everything. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, well, they said that the toy sales popped with The Force Awakens at the start of a trilogy that united Han, Luke, and Leia with a new band of heroes. No, it didn't unite them all at once.
They should have.
But I've slumped since because, again, people were pumped. They were like, oh, a new Star Wars trilogy with the classic characters. We got TIE fighters. We got X-Wings. This is going to be awesome. And then when it came out, they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe the next one will be good. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Solo, people were just like, I'm not even giving you money anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
they're just like, we're out. And I don't think The Rise of Skywalker is going to do gangbusters. They're already trying to subvert people's expectations by being like, hey, guys, it's not going to beat Endgame. There's no way in hell. It's. I don't even think it's going to come close. I think it might actually... I think it, depending on how the marketing goes, I think Rise of Skywalker might actually be the lowest performing of the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, because people are so... Like, Disney doesn't realize how much damage The Last Jedi actually did.
They're going to throw everything at this one for marketing. I'm surprised, honestly, they aren't marketing it now. I'm surprised we aren't seeing more for it.
I think it might be in trouble.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised we aren't. I thought by now they'd start, because they're going to hammer like hell on this one.
I don't think Disney was prepared for this. I really don't. I think they thought Star Wars was money in the bank. I don't think...
just poop out anything like The Last Jedi, and people are going to come. They're going to come with the spoons and forks and say, yay. No.
Yeah, and the problem here is that, again, I think this is Disney's corporate culture. Having worked with and around Disney people, we know that they don't like uncomfortable truths. You know, they don't like being told that things are really, really bad.
They can equate negativity with honesty, and that's not the same thing. Criticism, we'll say criticism. Criticism and negativity are not the same things. They're just not. I mean, they can be, but they're not always the same things.
Yeah, and here, I mean, this is coming from Bloomberg. They said some of the franchise's most dedicated fans have been sniping at the way Disney handled their favorite characters from the old movies. That's true. They completely destroyed Luke Skywalker. And the new trilogy's heroes like Rey and Poe haven't inspired the same fervor among young people because they don't give a shit.
Well, they ruined Poe. Poe was actually pretty good.
He was. The Last Jedi destroyed Star Wars, with toy sales falling flat around each new installment. Yeah, Hasbro barely made any solo toys, and they were on clearance within like a month. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. The Disneyland attraction, along with Star Wars at Disney World, Florida, are designed for much older dudes.
Excuse me.
With a Falcon ride. Yeah, they were talking about the cocktails. But yeah, and Iger has to come out with his tail between his legs and be like, yeah, we screwed up. You know, he has to tell investors they screwed up. And now, here's the rumor, too, and I've heard this from multiple people, that they actually, Galaxy's Edge, they were going to, all the Imagineers told them to base it on the original trilogy. And, and Iger wouldn't listen. Iger wanted his legacy,
the
synergy. He wanted sequel Star Wars, and they jumped the gun. They had a hit with The Force Awakens because it was the first new Star Wars movie in years. They thought everybody was getting the gang back together, and had they greenlit it after The Last Jedi, I think they would have gone back to the original trilogy. You know, so it's just like, and yeah, they're talking about Harry Potter is
which we've mentioned many times before too,
and that's Harry Potter. Nintendo. The excitement around Harry Potter is nothing compared to what's going to happen with Nintendo.
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here laughing to myself because, like, we got called, Disney haters and negative and all this stuff. And every single effing thing we've said for months, the mainstream media is now saying as well. So it wasn't about being negative or being haters. It was about, we know what's going on. We're talking because we understand what's going on and we're being honest. And I just love how now it's coming out, the mainstream saying the exact same effing thing we've been saying for months.
Disney and Lucasfilm tried for years to shut YouTubers up, thinking that the YouTubers were causing the backlash when they were actually commenting on the backlash that Disney was completely oblivious to.
Right.
Now you can't hide it because the numbers are out there.
And now they're flat out admitting to a lot of it, which they were denying and saying, no, you're negative people. And now they're admitting to it, which is why you should follow our Disney blog at Pirates and Princesses .net. Because I will say if something's good, but I will also say if something's, not good. And I will say it. And they don't like that. But I am honest because I'm for the consumer and not for them. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Sorry, I had to get a shameless plug in for myself.
That's okay. But yeah, Disney can't deny it anymore. Star Wars is damaged goods. They damaged it, and now they're in damage control mode. And I think the reason you're not seeing more about The Rise of Skywalker is they're afraid of, I think, premature burnout, and or they know that the movie is going to be a turd.
Well, they keep blaming on, they're back to back to back to back. It's not that. It's because you guys did, the first one you could get a pass on, you hit the nostalgia button, which I thought was too much the same thing you already done. And then you lost it. And there's not getting it back because now the opportunity people wanted was all the cast back together. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Because Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, and Peter Mayhew passed away, and we lost Kenny Baker too. So I'm like, there's no way you're going to get everybody back together, which is what everyone wanted. You had one shot and you ruined it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
should have stayed on target.
Should stay on. Yep,
should stay on target. So we wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. We are going to do another video on episode 9 and some of the ridiculous rumors.
Oh my god!
And if they turn out to be true, that's just desperation on Disney's part. I think to salvage.
Some of them, I think they would. I can see them doing.
Oh god, to salvage Star Wars, but it's damaged goods.
That'll come later today. So.
All right, so we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.